Hey there! Today, we're jumping right into some really clear, expert-backed strategies for parents and caregivers to support a child with autism. We're going to focus on actionable advice that you can actually use in your daily life.
And if you're a parent, you already know this. Let's be real. Some days can feel amazing, and others can feel, well, completely overwhelming. It's a journey with its own unique set of challenges, and it is totally okay to feel that way.
But here's the good news. You are definitely not alone, and there are ways to make things better. It all starts with really understanding how your child sees the world. Once we do that, we can unlock some incredibly effective tools. So let's get into it.
First things first, we need to kind of shift our perspective. We're not looking at a problem or a deficit, we're looking at a different, totally unique way of processing the world.
So, what is autism spectrum disorder, or ASD? Well, the most important thing to get right away is that it's a neurobiological disorder. It is not a mental illness. This just means the brain is wired differently, And that wiring affects how a person communicates, how they socialize, and how they react to everything around them.
Okay, this next part is a huge aha moment for so many parents. It's one of the most powerful insights you can have, and it all comes down to this idea: thinking in pictures. To put this into context, think about this. Research shows that most of us, somewhere between 65 and 75% of the general population, are primarily visual learners. We just get things better when we can see them. And here's where it gets really interesting. For so many people with autism, that visual processing ability isn't just there, it's often way more powerful. It can be a genuine strength, almost like a superpower. It's probably the strongest bridge we have for communication.
And nobody says it better than Dr. Temple Grandin, a famous professor who has autism. She says, "I think in pictures. Words are like a second language to me." Imagine that. Every time someone talks, you're busy translating their words into a movie in your head. That gives us such an incredible window into what's going on.
So, if a child's main language is pictures, but the world keeps talking to them in words, what happens? What happens when they get frustrated because they can't express a need or a feeling? Well, that brings us right to the behaviors we see every day. Think of it like an iceberg.
And this is absolutely crucial. The behaviors you see on the surface, the ones that can be so tough, are usually just the tiny tip of the iceberg. They're our form of communication. They're trying to tell us about something much bigger happening underneath.
So what are we seeing on top? We might see crying, hitting, maybe running away. And it's so easy to just focus on those things, right? Because they're loud and immediate.
But here's what's really going on, what we don't see. The child might just be trying to say they're hungry. Or maybe they're having sensory overload. That tag on their shirt feels like sandpaper, or the lights are just too bright. Maybe they're sick or in pain, or feeling super anxious about a change in the routine. That behavior is the only tool they have to tell you, hey, something is wrong.
Okay, so understanding the why is a huge first step. But now, let's get to the how. We're going to put together a practical toolkit with things you can start using like today.
And the foundation of this whole toolkit is structure. Look, most of us like a good routine, but for many people with autism, it's not just helpful, it's essential. Predictability provides security. It tells them what's coming next and what's expected of them, and that is just incredibly calming.
And when you build that structure, three amazing things start to happen. 1, their anxiety goes down, because the world isn't so chaotic and unpredictable. 2, when anxiety drops, those negative behaviors we talked about, they often go down too. And 3, it actually boosts their independence, because they know the steps and need less help.
So how do we build that structure visually? One fantastic tool is something called a social narrative. It's basically just a short story with pictures that walks a child through a situation that might be stressful for them. Like a visit to the dentist. A picture of the chair might say, "I will lean back in the dentist chair. I can take 3 deep breaths to stay calm." It just makes the unknown known.
These little stories are so powerful. They give clear step-by-step instructions that can even help explain how other people might be feeling. They're always filled with positive, encouraging words to build confidence. And the result? Way less anxiety before the event even starts.
We've covered some really big ideas here, from understanding visual thinking to using practical tools. So let's wrap this all up by talking about the mindset that helps you build a more confident path forward.
All right, here are a few final rapid-fire tips to keep in your back pocket. Always try to zero in on what your child does well. Use their gifts and special interests as motivation. Give them extra time and warnings before switching activities. And you got to choose your battles, Decide what's really worth it. But the biggest one, never, ever give up. You are your child's #1 fan.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. You have the tools, and you have the understanding to make a real change. So the only question is, where are you going to start? What's just one daily routine, getting ready for school, bedtime, anything, that you can make visual for your child tomorrow? That one simple picture schedule could be the start of a whole new chapter for both of you.